From Interior Alaska's most trusted news source, this is the Fairbanks Evening News.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. Our top story, a Fairbanks man facing hindering prosecution and tampering with physical evidence charges appeared before Judge Bethany Harbison for arraignment in Fairbanks Superior Court today. 44-year-old
Sean Jenkins pleaded not guilty to the charges. These charges were in conjunction with Monica Forbes' first-degree murder charge. Forbes allegedly shot longtime friend Michael Pope using his own gun. Then Jenkins assisted her in burying the body next to Pope's outhouse. Jenkins was originally charged with first-degree murder, but his charge was reduced to tampering with physical evidence. Now his trial is set for March.
Matthew Bagley of Fairbanks pleaded guilty to sexual assault in the third degree in front of Judge Jane Kovar at Fairbanks Superior Court today. 33-year-old Bagley is charged with engaging in sexual contact with a known incapacitated person on November 11, 2012. Bagley's original charge was sexual assault in the second degree, but was pleaded down to the third degree. He will serve 12 years with 7 years suspended for a total of 5 years in prison and 5 years on probation.
Governor Bill Walker spoke out earlier today on how his administration plans to close budget gaps in the face of a state credit downgrade. Mike Fussell has that story.
The notice came early this morning. Standard & Poor's is knocking Alaska's credit rating down a notch. The group is citing the effect of lower than expected oil prices on the state budget. Governor Bill Walker says the change doesn't come as much of a surprise.
If we borrowed $1 million today, we'd pay an additional $1,000 per year on that $1 million as a result of this bond rating adjustment. So it's not that it's a major a downgrade, but it shows a trend.
The rating agency downgraded state bonds from AAA to AA with a negative outlook. Governor Walker says if the current trend continues, projects down the road like the proposed gas pipeline could be affected.
They even mentioned it in their statement about the gas line. That's out there a ways. That would have a fairly significant impact going if we continue to downgrade our rating and we end up going out to borrow money to do that.
The governor then formally laid out restrictions on travel and hiring for state employees. Trip requests now must be approved by department commissioners or the governor's chief of staff, depending on the desired location. Outings deemed non-essential for professional development or trade conferences will also be on hold. Department of Administration Commissioner Sheldon Fisher says this is something many government employees are already doing.
It's part of the way that we've achieved the savings that we've delivered to date, and again, this will be an incremental savings on top of it, and it also, as the governor said, provide consistency and a more defined process.
A general restriction on hiring is also in effect. The rule does not curb jobs critical to public health and safety or paid by federal funds. Fisher says positions that are key in creating revenue will also be able to avoid the policy.
In natural resources or fish and game, or even the Department of Motor Vehicles. And the point we're making there is we don't want to be penny wise and pound foolish so that we cut positions and actually reduce revenue where we could be collecting that revenue.
Other groups tied to the state budget, like the University of Alaska and Alaska Energy Authority, are also being asked to impose hiring and travel restrictions. Reporting, I'm Mike Fussell.
Okay, when we come back, the governor has recommended closing 5 highway maintenance stations, one of which will have a big impact locally. We'll tell you more and which one.
Also, in our weekly health report, with the cold temperatures come problems for allergy sufferers, and Monty Bowen tells you how to deal with it. Stay with us.
Welcome back. The Alaska Department of Transportation and Public Facilities is hosting several community engagement meetings next week to discuss proposed road maintenance station closures in the interior. Governor Bill Walker recommended closing 5 highway maintenance stations and reducing hours for another facility in the area during fiscal year 2017. The recommendation is in the governor's 2017 proposed budget, which is not yet approved by the Alaska State Legislature. Maintenance stations up for closures include the Northway, Tok, Kenny Lake, Valdez, Salcha, and Central facilities. The Thompson Pass Maintenance Station would also switch from year-round operations to winter hours only. There is a community meeting focusing on each affected station scheduled from January 11th to January 15th. For full details regarding meeting locations and times for a station, visit online at dot.alaska.gov. Public Information Officer Meadow Bailey says there will be opportunities for residents to hear from department officials and ask questions.
We know that this is something that greatly impacts people. That's why we want to go and kind of talk about the budget reality. And there are people who have really great ideas about, maybe there's other ways we can solve some of this budget crisis, and we always are asking and looking for input and some solutions.
Some of our most influential role models are teachers. We spend at least 6 hours a day learning through them and looking to them for advice and guidance. Through the BP's Teachers of Excellence program, anyone can show their appreciation to their teacher by nominating them for an award. The program was initiated in 1995 to recognize exceptional teachers around Alaska. Last year, they awarded 6 teachers in Fairbanks, and Amy Brown, a math teacher of Hutchinson, won Teacher of the Year. Over the past 21 years, BP has honored over 600 teachers in Alaska for their dedication inside and outside of the classrooms. Many go above and beyond their teaching duties to help students live to their fullest potential. Now, if you have a teacher in mind, you can nominate them by February 1st at bpteachers.com.
The BP Teachers of Excellence program recognizes outstanding teachers from around the state of Alaska for inspiring Alaska's next generation of students. This is a program that's been going on since 1995. We celebrated the 20th anniversary last year, and in that amount of time, we've recognized 650 teachers from around the state, and each winner receives $500, and their school also gets a $500 grant from BP.
Not everyone who suffers allergies welcomes the cold of winter. Monty Bowen explains in this week's Health Report.
While colder weather often brings relief to those who suffer from outdoor allergies, according to Dr. Lily Pien, colder weather can also bring problems for indoor allergy sufferers.
If they have indoor allergens related to animal dander, to the dust mites, and some people have problems with cockroaches, that exposure is just going to be higher, and they'll have more symptoms related to being indoors rather than outdoors.
The doctor says using an air purifier can help with indoor allergies, but that humidifiers are not always a good idea, since dust mites and mold thrive in humidity. Another problem often brought on by the change is the increased risk for viral infections. She says folks often come in this time of year not certain if the symptoms are from an infection or are allergy-based.
This time of year, when people are staying indoors more, when viruses are more prone to become a problem, probably would be a consideration for some of their symptoms. So you're going to want to see, is it really my allergies, or is it something like an upper respiratory infection?
The doctor says it's also important to keep temperature change in mind when traveling during the winter. She advises taking allergy medications before heading into a situation where allergies can be aggravated. This is Bonnie Bowen reporting.
The Health Report is brought to you by the Ear, Nose, and Throat Clinic, located in the Medical Dental Arts Building, and by Interior Women's Health, located on 1626 30th Avenue.
All right, up next in sports, this week is a big week for high school basketball.
Also, an IceDogs goalie gets a monthly award, and tonight's Nana Corner features the hottest team at UAF.
All right, stay tuned for sports after the break.
And welcome back. Scoop Clark here with your local Tuesday Sportscast. Joe Cook is out on assignment. So we begin tonight's Sportscast with the Nana Corner, and we check in with the hottest team up on the hill, the men's basketball team, who are the GNAC Red Lion team of the week.
I don't know. Honestly, I don't even know.
How does a team ranked 9th in the Western region with a 10-2 record not know why they are so good? Fortunately, senior point guard Joe Slocum helps us out with that.
I think we're all just really determined, maybe. Sometimes teams with the most talent win, and we do have a lot of talent, but we also have a lot of determination and heart.
This determined team is riding a 6-game winning streak, which is the best in the conference. It also puts them in first place in the GNAC with a 4-0 record, matching their best start in program history.
I think it's a combination of the seniors being determined to have a great senior year, and then the newcomers have really helped. And I would like to think we have a little chip on our shoulders from last year and being on probation and that whole fiasco. So, maybe it's a combination of all those things.
They are getting contributions from everyone. All the starters are averaging double figures in scoring, and they have bench production. Brandon Davis is coming off a career-high 22-point game against St. Martin's.
Well, we're moving the ball around a lot more, so we're not just one person taking it, and when that happens, holes open up and get easier shots.
UAF is rolling. In their last outing, they defeated number 8 SPU in their house. It's their first win there in 9 years, and it's head coach Mick Durham's first win over the Falcons. The last time UAF beat the Falcons was in 2010. One trait of a good team is the ability to protect home court. Alaska is 6-0 at home, tops in the conference. There's motivation behind that.
I just feel like we're trying to make basketball like a big thing in the Banks. I heard like back then it used to be really big. It was big in hockey, and we like, okay, that's what we want. Like we want it to be live. Like we want to be like that banner. I forgot Kurt was telling us like 05, 06 basketball was the biggest thing in Fairbanks. That's how we want it. Like yeah, we running the town type. That's how we feeling.
This week, UAF hosts the Western Washington Vikings, who are picked to win the conference, and Simon Fraser. Alaska tips off at 7:30 p.m. on Thursday and Saturday night on Alaska Airlines Court inside the Patty Center. Joe Cook reporting.
Nanook Corner, brought to you by Sports Medicine Fairbanks.
Skiers from the interior and current Nanooks are in the U.S. Cross Country Championships in Houghton, Michigan this week. On Monday, Reese Honneman, a Lathrop product and APU skier, won the men's 1.5K sprint in 3:18. Logan Honneman, a former Nanook, was 9th in the sprints. Now, Becca Rorabaugh of Fairbanks was 5th in the women's 10K on Sunday and 8th in Monday's sprints. Nicole Bath placed 31st, respectively, to lead UAF in Sunday's 10K race. John Seck paced the men, placing 55th overall in the 15K race. Now, Sarissa Lammers was the lone Nanook to advance to the sprint semifinals. She finished in 4:03 in the junior division. The final race days are Thursday and Saturday. Today, IceDogs goalie Gavin Niato was named the Vaughan NAHL Goaltender of the Month. It was Christmas all December for him. He had a perfect 6-0 record and officially committed to Brown University on December 5th. The Yorba Linda, California kid made 130 saves and allowed just 8 goals for 1.3 goals allowed average. He saved at a 94% clip. On the year, Nieto leads the NAHL with 1.85 goals allowed average. He is second in wins with 16 and is top 10 in saving percentage. Nieto and the IceDogs take on the Johnstown Tomahawks this weekend. Saturday in Anchorage, the Allison Ravens and Delta Junction Huskies clashed in consolation in the ACS Lime Solar Pepsi Invitational Tournament. The Delta boys defeated Eielson 76-57 thanks to 30-point third quarter. The game was tied at halftime, however. Micah Helkin led the Huskies with 20 points as Delta Junction claimed 4th place. Now in the girls' game, Eielson held on for a 38-35 win for their first victory of the year. Shelby McKeown and Hannah Cole both scored 13 points for the Ravens. Eielson and Delta will meet again this Friday. Now the Barrow Whalers swept the Lime Solar titles and they will be in Fairbanks this week. This week is a big week for high school hoops as the season gets going. The Lathrop girls basketball team hosts Barrow on Wednesday night at 6 p.m. The top 3A team will be in the Mount McKinley Bank Invitational Tournament at Boileau Hall. The Monroe Rams invite the defending 3A boys champion Barrow Whalers, the Grace Christian Grizzlies, who are always in the mix, and the Sitka Wolves. The Sitka girls team are the defending 3A champs as well. The Lathrop boys will head to Palmer for the Elks tournament. Both North Pole teams will be in the Joe Floyd tourney down in Kodiak, while the West Valley boys and Galena boys teams will compete in the Diamond Prep tournament in Anchorage. The tournaments are Thursday through Saturday. The Mount McKinley tournament will have games at 3, 4:40, 6:20, and 8 p.m. each night at Boileau Hall. The Monroe girls will play at 6:20, and the boys will play in prime time at 8 p.m. each night. Visit webcenter11.com/sports for the full schedule. Okay, that'll do it for sports tonight. Thanks for watching. Mike Schultz is next with weather, and like Joe says, we'll catch you next time.
Hey everyone, welcome back into weather. Mike Schultz with you once again. It wasn't a bad day across the interior. For the most part, just cloudy skies, no precipitation. Temperatures a little chilly today, no wind to worry about, but we're looking at the cool temperatures to continue, but then slowly warming up toward the weekend. We'll tell you more about that in just a little bit. Photograph night almost looks like a postcard. This one's sent by Tom Berklid. He captured all those mallards out there on the Chena River. Look at all of them just flourishing there. And a great photograph, as always, the great colors and nice contrast. And if you have a photograph to share, please send it to photos@ktvf11.com. Nice job, Tom. Good picture. Here's your numbers for today. 17 for the high, currently 14. The low last night, 5. The record high is 33 in 1960, but in 1975 dropped down to 57 below. Your sunrise and sunset, about 4 hours and 16 minutes, a gain of 4 minutes from yesterday. And once again, we have air quality problems going on. There's an alert in effect until 5 p.m. tomorrow. Fairbanks is at a stage 1 moderate, but the North Pole is stage 3, unhealthy for sensitive groups. So keep in mind, don't burn anything unless you really have to, because the air there is in pretty ugly shape right now. Okay, what's going on as far as our satellite and radar? You can see high pressure dominating the scene once again, keeping all the clouds away from the interior, pushing it off to the west. Over southeast Alaska, it really clears a bell there, looking pretty nice. Even the precipitation has dropped off down around the Prince William Sound and the Anchorage Bowl area. Elsewhere across the state, as you can see over southeast Alaska, just mainly a few clouds here and there. Temperatures right around 33 at Ketchikan, quite a bit cooler at Juneau. Anchorage about 28 degrees. Kodiak partly cloudy, 33. Clear skies at Cold Bay, 31. And 31 degrees at Nome with partly cloudy skies, 32 at Bethel. Barrow, look at that, above zero, 10 degrees above zero to be exact. And Fort Yukon even cooler than Barrow. Isn't that amazing? Here's your satellite and radar for the lower 48. Some showers moving across the central plains over the east coast. Very nice weather, clear and cool for the most part. But on the west coast, just the opposite. A big storm system moving in, and yet another one expected, and another one behind that. So we're looking at quite a bit of rainfall. In fact, a stormy situation setting up for tomorrow and tomorrow night. High surf and beach erosion, heavy mountain snows, they can definitely use that. Flash flooding and gusty winds. A lot of rain expected with this storm system. There were some forecasts of Northern California having 16 inches of rain in the next 15 days. Boy, that's a lot of water. And the jet stream, once again, the culprit here, bringing all the cool air down across the Pacific Ocean, then taking a big turn, bottoming out across the deep south, and then roaring back up over the northeast. A mix of snow and rain across the Great Lakes expected there. Well, we're back to our kids' weather. Once again, the kids have returned. And tonight we're going to be visiting with kids from Salcha Elementary School. Tonight, here's a young lady with a really interesting story to share with you.
Hi, my name is Kaylana. I'm in Miss McGee's 4th grade class at Salcha Elementary. And here's my story. Sunny weather, rainy weather, electrically disturbed weather, super weather, sweater weather, big fat tornado weather, 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 weather. You are so clever, messing with my recess.
And you are so clever for developing that poem. Nice job. Again, thanks to Mount McKinley Bank for sponsoring our kids' weather. Tomorrow night, a young man will be here with an interesting picture to share. Here's your forecast for tomorrow for the northern sections of Alaska. Flurries at Barrow, a little snow in Nome, partly cloudy skies for Fort Yukon. Here in the interior, we're looking at pretty mild and pretty wild weather, or actually quiet weather, I should say, for the most part. Partly cloudy skies across the region. Warmer for Healy and Delta Junction. Temperatures in the teens to low 20s. Over southeast Alaska, sunny skies in Juneau and just mostly cloudy skies at Ketchikan. Well, over to the southwest, it looks like cloudy skies in Cold Bay, snow showers at Bethel, and rain and snow in Kodiak. And down across the Anchorage Bowl, we're looking at mostly sunny skies in Anchorage and Valdez, and just partly cloudy skies for Homer. So pretty quiet weather pattern over the entire state. Our forecast for tonight, a little chilly, 4 below. The first time we've seen below temperatures for quite a while. Partly cloudy skies, but warmer in the hills. We have an inversion going on. Over south, I should say over tomorrow for the Fairbanks area, 9 degrees above, little change from today, continue partly cloudy skies. And the 5-day outlook, temperatures slowly warming up toward the weekend. In fact, 20 degrees by Sunday and Monday. Up until then, we'll be looking at temperatures still chilly, but still above normal for this time of year. Overnight lows also rising nicely, 0 to 10 above, even 15 above by Saturday night.
And the good weather news just continues, Mike.
It's amazing. And
I bet you are everybody's favorite person recently.
I don't know about that, but like I said, I'm just a messenger, and it's nice to be sending off a nice message for once.
Well, I'm just amazed that the overnight lows are so high. I mean, we've been up to 20 before, but not 15 for an overnight low. That's crazy.
And the long range all the way out into the middle part of the month, no change.
Oh, wow.
Skiing at Moose Mountain
there you go.
In January.
Yeah, no snow in the forecast, so it might be a little crusty on the slopes.
I will take it as long as I can ski. It's not 30 or 40 below.
All right, we'll see you up there.
Along.
Sure. And that will wrap up this edition of the Fairbanks Evening News. We are glad you could join us.
Well, tonight on NBC Nightly News, El Nino-fueled storms are forecast to soak drought-stricken California for the rest of this week, as I said earlier.
That's good news.
That's up next with Lester Holt.
All right, join us here 6 days a week at 6 and 11, or of course online anytime at webcenter11.com.
From all of us here at the News Center, have a great night.
Good night.